April, ready to start and do some housekeeping?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So I wanted to welcome everybody to our online event to discuss our exciting news. Just a couple things to talk about prior. You are all on mute right now, but we do want to have as many questions as possible. If you could submit your questions through the Q&A, either it will be at the top or the bottom of your screen, depending on which type of device you're utilizing, but we do want as many questions as possible. So please feel free to type those in. We are always looking for suggestions on how to make our webinars better. So what we can improve upon or what things you want to know more about. So please feel free to share those thoughts with us. And I think that's it for housekeeping right now.
And I would just add, if you're just joining us, pop your Zoom location into the Q&A and let us know where you're Zooming from. We have Georgia, we have upstate New York, we have Pennsylvania, New Hampshire, Massachusetts so far. So we have a lot of folks.
Yeah, which is awesome to have so many people from so many different spaces. So I will introduce myself. I am the executive director here at Riverwoods, Manchester. I've been here about 2 years and been in the senior living industry for about 13 years total. Absolutely adore my community, love being a part of Riverwoods, Manchester, and am super excited for this next opportunity that we have here. I will also introduce our presenter, Kathleen Toomey. So Kathleen has more than 30 years of experience in marketing, advertising, and public relations. She's an amazing speaker. I adore watching her. She has been directing the sales and marketing efforts for Riverwoods, working for the Riverwoods Group for over 14 years. And she most recently this year has started her own podcast, Seniority Authority, which is often running. It explains, how do we get smarter about growing older? So if you have the opportunity to check that out, you certainly should. And okay. I will hand it over to Kathleen for the presentation.
Sorry, I jumped the gun on you, April. So I have I can figure out how to go forward in this presentation, but not how to go backwards. So welcome everyone. I see we have somebody else from Connecticut, which is my stomping grounds originally. So welcome to Farmington, Connecticut. Thank you, April, for that very nice introduction. For those of you who don't know who Riverwoods is, we are the largest family of not-for-profit continuing care retirement communities in Northern New England. So we have 3 campuses in Exeter, 1 in Manchester, and 1 in Durham. And then we put SPE because that's our very official corporate term for someplace else. We are going to be growing and bring our way of life to more people in the future. That is just who we are and how we're built. So those of you who have questions on any aspect of this presentation, put them in the Q&A at any point in time. I'm going to go forward, go through a lot of information with you, but my favorite part is the Q&A. So I'm going to be done with this presentation in, I don't know, half an hour, and then we'll be able to get to your questions. So for those of you who don't know where Riverwoods Manchester is, we're talking about Riverwoods Manchester right now. We are on the Hooksett line, just 10 minutes to downtown Manchester and 15 minutes to the airport, but we're in a beautiful rural area. We are adjacent to a 640-acre nature conservancy, and it is a beautiful location if you've never been there. Today, I'm going to talk about you. I'm going to talk about what's new today about aging, what your choices are, explain a little bit about CCRC, and then talk about Riverwoods Manchester. And at the end, I'm going to be introducing our brand new Cottage Priority Program. We have not built cottages in Manchester since 2015. And so we're really excited about this. We have a lot of interest in it, a lot of people signing up, And this is your opportunity to sign up before the general public. So we'll tell you a little bit about that. You probably know this, but you are different. This generation is different than any prior generation. Why? Number one, there's more of us than ever before. This is the US demographic census, and here we are today in 2020. 10,000 people every day turn 70 in the US. 10,000 people, I'm sorry, turn 65 every day in the US, and that's continuing for the next 15 years. This country has never seen a population this old in our history. So we are living, there are more of us getting older, and that is what our future is going to look like. So if there's more of us, the other thing that's different is not only are there more of us that are turning 65, we are living longer. So in 1940, when Social Security was enacted, the average life expectancy of a male was 65. Today, if you are 65, you can live to at least 84. And if you make it to 84, you can expect to live to 92. And if you get to 92, you can tack on a few more years. So what does that mean? We're living longer in general than other generations, than your parents' generation, than your grandparents' generation. Obviously, individual results may vary, but there's more of us living longer, and we're more often living alone than ever before. 13% of women will be living alone, and 11% of men. Why is that? Because of death, divorce, and people who had never married. So it's a more alone population, more older, living longer, more often alone. What else is different? 70% of us over 65 are going to need some form of long-term care. This is, I think, what's shocking to most people that I talk with is they get we're getting older and there's more of us, but we do need more long-term care. We are living longer thanks to better medical care, but it also means new knees, new hips. We've got issues. The good thing is the issues aren't killing us, but we need some help. So if you think you are one of those people that is never, ever going to need some form of long-term care, understand you are in the distinct minority. We don't know exactly how long people are going to need long-term care, but we do know today 20% of 65-year-olds are going to need long-term care for more than 5 years. 7% of women will need nursing home care for more than 5 years. And that is the more expensive level of care. Some of you may say, I'm all set, I've got Medicare, but there are limits. So today, with Medicare, you need a 3-night qualifying stay in the hospital. What does that mean? You have to stay overnight in the hospital, and your admission has to be categorized as admitted, not under observation. So today in the hospitals, you can stay overnight under observation. It won't count towards your Medicare benefit. So you need 3 nights as admitted, and then you get 100 days of care that's covered for you as long as you're making progress. So it is very limited. How many folks, and I know we can't have a show of hands, but I'm sure that there's a lot of folks in our audience that have long-term care insurance, which is terrific. We consider that a bridge to the future. So it provides a fixed financial coverage for a certain amount of time. It just doesn't answer the question of where you are going to get the care that you need. The concept of a continuing care retirement community answers cost, availability, quality, and location. So it covers all of those things. What else is different about this time in our lives? Not focusing on us, but focusing on the workforce, that has dramatically changed. As anyone who's driven by a McDonald's, a CVS, a retail store knows by now, you've seen the help wanted signs everywhere, the flags, the posters, it's everywhere. People are looking for the workforce, and the challenges of workforce is literally shrinking. So this is also statistics on the number of people aged 20 to 64 for every person over 65. So how many people in the workforce compared to the retirees? In 1950, we were at a high of 7 people in the workforce for every retiree. It's dropped in 1980 to 5. In 2011, it dropped to 4. And looking ahead in 2050, we will have 2 people in the workforce for every retiree. That's the total workforce. That's not the super sexy long-term care industry. So when you think about who is going to care for me in my future when I need care, if your plan is I'm staying home and I'm bringing in care, understand that is going to be more costly, more challenging, and more unreliable in the future as fewer people choose this industry to work in. So if that's your plan, part of my message today is understand what your future looks like through these statistics and trends, and make a plan for that, whatever that plan is. So it's just to help you kind of open your eyes to what you have. And I've thought about you a lot, and I have figured out that you have 5 choices as a senior. Number 1, you can be an immortal teenager. You can stay home and assume that nothing is going to happen to you. You will never need anything. One day, you're just going to wake up dead, which we would all love, quite frankly. But that's a challenging life to live, needing nothing, getting older, and living safely at home. Number 2, the bunker mentality. This is very popular in New England. I'm going to stay home and I'm going to bring everything in. So my home is my castle. I am not leaving. This is how I am defining independence for myself. Living at home. I'm going to bring in lawn services. I'm going to get a snowplow guy. I'm going to bring in a roofer. I'm going to bring in a plumber. I may bring in a housekeeper. I may get meals delivered. I may get in-home care coming. Everything is coming to me. The challenge is if you get to a point where that is no longer sustainable. If this is your plan, is your house accommodative for 1-floor living? And think about social interaction. How are you going to provide that social interaction if, say, you're not driving at night and you're staying home? How are you going to interact with people? The third choice is cohabitation, which is great if it's your first boyfriend, girlfriend, if it's your new marriage. But if you are 80 moving in with your 60-year-old children, my advice is to tell them, have that conversation, say, you are my plan. When I need help, I'm moving in with you. So have that conversation, let them know, because I guarantee they are thinking about it. So that's your third choice. Your fourth choice is related to 1 or 2. If you stay home and you wait until there is a crisis and you need to move directly into assisted living or a nursing home, you may not be the one making that choice. If you've not planned ahead, it may be that a crisis happens, you're in the hospital, and someone, your children, whomever, is deciding where you are going to go. The last choice, I think, is the wisest choice, a continuing care retirement community. It is a great option for those people who want true independence, which in my mind is having control over the big decisions in your life. If I need care, where am I going to get it? What's it going to cost? Who's going to provide it? And where am I going to be? A CCRC is a plan for the future, no matter what. You know you can have a rich, independent life, but if you need care, it's covered. So for those of you who may not be familiar with CCRCs, and the woman in Pennsylvania, person in Pennsylvania, that's a hotbed of CCRCs. There are 1,900 across the country, and we have been around for 100 years. Now in New England, we don't have very many CCRCs because, you know, we don't like to jump on a trend. So we have a handful of CCRCs. In New Hampshire, we are all nonprofit, but there are for-profit, nonprofit, and within nonprofit, there's faith-based and there's community-based. And Riverwoods is a community-based CCRC. Many people that I talk to, and I've been doing this for 16 years for Riverwoods, think they understand what a CCRC is, but they also think they are buying real estate because we look like a beautiful over 55 community, but we are actually an insurance product. So the most beautiful insurance product you'll see. So you do not purchase real estate from Riverwoods. We sign a contract guaranteeing that we are covering your housing and nursing needs for the rest of your life. And it is insurance. Our contracts are regulated by, all contracts are regulated by the state in which they operate. We report to the state financially every year. Our audited financials are available on our website. And importantly, the federal government considers that if you are in a CCRC, you are smart. You are pre-paying and pre-insuring for your potential healthcare. So a portion of your entrance fee and your monthly fee is tax deductible because they recognize you are planning ahead. So it's a smart financial decision. However, it's a lifestyle choice. It's a bold choice. Why? Because you come to a CCRC when you don't need anything. You don't need any help. You are totally fine. You're driving, you're doing things, you have an active life. Maybe you're still consulting, working, volunteering, but you say, I want a bright future. I want a future in which I can be released from a lot of the burdens of home maintenance. So we take care of your inside and outside maintenance, transportation. You say, I want more social options. So you find yourself in a community rich with programs, activities, fitness, committees, interest, and you stay in control of your choices, the big choices. And I think that's for me, it's a big thing to change people's minds about how they think about independence. It is not attaching yourself to a structure like a home and saying, this is it, this is independence. It is making those decisions about your choices and understanding what the future looks like. So we have some people from Georgia, Pennsylvania. This is a big overview of CCRCs. CCRCs are very different when it comes to contracts, but let's just go through what they are similar in. You have to, in a CCRC, you have to enter when you're independent and you can live safely on your own. This is not an option where you say, I'm going to wait until I have a very significant diagnosis and then go to a CCRC. You have to be 62 or better. Often there are at least 4 levels of care: independent, assisted living, memory support, and nursing care. Once you are in a CCRC, you can go back and forth between the 4 levels as your health needs dictate. You can go into assisted living for a while if you're struggling with pneumonia or something and go back to your independent apartment. It's fluid. The door is not locked behind you. So it's a supportive community and we care for you where you are. We have services and amenities at every level, and there's generally 2 fees. One is an entrance fee and the other is a monthly fee. portion of which both of those are tax deductible. And a big question I get is, what is the difference in cost? Across the board, across the country, the difference in cost is the size of home you choose. So you could choose the smallest 1-bedroom or the largest cottage. That dictates your entrance and monthly fee, not your age, not your income. It's the size of space you require. You have a chance to meet new friends, pursue new interests, and as a nonprofit, we have a benevolence clause that you can apply to the community if you outlive your assets. So that's enormous. So at Riverwoods Exeter, here's some of our residents. We have a flexible dining plan, which means you have a dining points program, which means you can eat what you want, when you want. Inside and outside maintenance, literally, if the light in your closet ceiling goes out, you can call someone to fix it. Housekeeping, laundry service, transportation to doctor's office, to hairdresser, appointments. You know, if it's a nasty day and you don't want to go out, we can help you with that. We have a really wide variety of fitness classes and exercise programs. We have a lot of committees and programming. You have access to healthcare. You don't have to worry about utilities, property taxes. So one way to think about this is it's one entity, and within this entity, you have independent living, assisted, memory care, and nursing care. If you are interested in a CCRC, there's just two things you have to do to qualify. One is a health assessment. So you come in Riverwoods Manchester's case, you come to our community, you get a health assessment by our nurse, and we go through your medical history, and primarily it's really a cognitive test to make sure that you are cognitively fine. And I think that's another caution after 16 years. What I tell people is apply sooner rather than later, because sometimes we have people who they like the idea, but they say they're not ready. And then when they are ready, especially if it's a couple, we can see some significant cognitive decline that maybe the couple has not noticed. And I'm not talking typical age-related memory loss where you put your keys. We all do that. It's something more significant. So you want to make sure that you can get in if that's your plan. Second is a financial assessment. It's a quick page that you fill out, income, assets, your age, and then we just ensure that you are qualified for the size of home you're interested in. I think after 100 years, we are at a tipping point of CCRCs because this is the perfect time for them. Why? We have better healthcare, which means we have higher medical costs and increased longevity. So we have a longer, more costly life. So having a good, solid financial plan is important. Secondly, it's our generation. This is the sandwich generation. You have adult children who have gotten married later, have kids later. They have 2 career couples. They may be living, you know, across town, across state, in another country. So you don't have the traditional 1950s, the adult child is living around the corner and can check in on mom and dad. And you want different things. This generation travels more, is more active, is working, is volunteering. You're not waiting for someone to introduce you to something or get you socially motivated. You want to be in charge of your own destiny, make your own friends. That's why I think this is a perfect opportunity for this particular demographic. Let's talk about Riverwoods Manchester. We are very different in a lot of ways. As I mentioned earlier, we are 10 minutes from downtown, but a world away. We have beautiful walking trails. We're adjacent to this gorgeous 640-acre nature conservancy. And we're part of the largest family of CCRCs in Northern New England. Why is that important? Things like COVID. We have access to resources within our sister communities that a single site does not have the ability to access. We are extremely financially strong and stable. So being part of a system in this more complex world is really important. On our campus, we are putting the finishing touches right now on our multi-million-dollar renovation and expansion. Every home has been upgraded. A new fitness center has been built and expanded. We have new resident spaces. And we have a gorgeous new exterior, which is, I think, finishing on Saturday. So it's beautiful, it's contemporary, open. Our health center has been renovated, and we consistently win awards for our healthcare and the quality of our care, the quality of the people who are working in healthcare. It is just constantly on the best of lists. Today, we have 134 independent apartments in our main campus, and there are 4 existing cottages, which were built way back in 2015, and we're about to add to those. The other really innovative thing that we have is New England's only contract, only CCRC contract that gives you access to your refundable money during your lifetime. So when we talk about CCRCs and talk about contracts, at Riverwoods, all of our contracts have a refundability portion, which means if you move out or when you pass away, a portion of your original entrance fee is refundable to your estate, to whomever you designate. However, at Riverwoods Manchester, we did something different. We got permission from the state to have a contract that allows our Riverwoods Manchester residents to access the refundable portion of their entrance fee during their lifetime when they are in healthcare. That's huge. No one else is doing that. No one else at Riverwoods, no one else in New England. We learned about this from colleagues of ours in Texas. What this means to you is you can move in to Riverwoods Manchester with our 70% flex contract. And when you are in healthcare, you can draw down on that money to cover your healthcare costs. So that's really a game changer. It provides you with cash flow stability, asset preservation. You don't need to draw down on it if you don't want to, but you can. As a Type B contract, Riverwoods Manchester has lower entrance fees and lower monthly fees than a Type A. So Riverwoods Exeter and Durham are Type A's. Riverwoods Manchester is a Type B. So this is a very interesting opportunity. So on to the main event. These are the first new cottages we have built since 2015. There's 18 of them only. We are creating brand new floor plans. So we have 4, but we are scrapping those floor plans and doing totally different floor plans that are very open, very contemporary. If you join us now, you have the chance to personalize your home. You can choose the granite, the flooring, the paint, the color of appliances, all of these things. You have tremendous independence. These cottages are just steps from our main campus, right next to the Nature Conservancy. There are 2 floor plan options. We don't have the floor plans finalized yet. If you join our Cottage Priority Program, you will see them on November 1st. They are over 1,300 and 1,600 square foot duplexes side by side. It's a small neighborhood. We are building these 18 in an existing road alongside our 4 existing cottages. So this is a map of where they are. If you can see my cursor, this is the main campus. This is Alliance Way. This road Birchview Way already exists. These gray cottages 52, 54, 53, and 55 exist already. And then these are the other brand new cottages. So if you join today, you are going to have an opportunity to say, yeah, I want this one right next to the campus, or I want this one farthest away from the campus. It's your choice. We have 2 floor plans. A sugar maple is 1348 square feet, and the white oak is 1656 square feet. So today you have the opportunity of joining our cottage priority program. What does that mean? Because we only have 18, we have a lot of people that want these cottages. So we've created the priority program so that you have the first opportunity to see the homes. You will have the opportunity to buy at the lowest price with the highest level of benefits before we open it up to the general public. If you join our program, there are 2 levels of benefits. The platinum, which is the highest level, available for the first 9 that make a 10% deposit, and the gold, which is the second level. Our platinum members have guaranteed occupancy. Platinum and gold both have guaranteed occupancy. What does that mean? It's enormous. It means that you will be accepted at Riverwoods Manchester no matter what your health assessment is. So earlier I said, in order to qualify for a CCRC, you have to pass the health assessment, which is very significant. Only when we are building brand new homes do we have the opportunity to say, we're going to waive that. And if you commit, we'll accept you at whatever level you are. It doesn't mean we'll accept you into independent living, but it means you can move into our community. If you need healthcare, you can move directly into healthcare. You also get 1 month of free monthly service fees, a downsizing credit, and a design credit. So all of those are available to the charter members once they commit to a home that they would like. So what's the process? Today you have the opportunity to join the priority program. What does that mean? It means you put $1,000 down, and that gets you on the priority program. Once we have pricing, which will be early December, we will be accepting 10% deposits. So at this point in time, we are only going to offer the cottages to people who have joined our cottage priority program. So if this is something you're interested in, you need to join today. Your $1,000 is 100% refundable. If you put $1,000 down today and Monday you change your mind, you'll get your $1,000 back. But putting $1,000 down now means you will not miss out on the chance to get a cottage. Let me just tell you, the wait lists at Riverwoods Exeter and Riverwoods Durham are long. It can be 8 years. So if this is of interest to you, I highly recommend you join this priority program. It gives you the chance to learn more. So what happens? You join the priority program, put $1,000 down. You'll complete the confidential data profile. November 1, we will have an event and we will showcase the floor plans. Shortly after that, in early December, we are finalizing our pricing and we are going to start actually selling our cottage homes. So December we'll start selling. What does selling mean? It means you put 10% down, and then we will start construction in the spring of 2023, just a few short months away at this point. And you will be able to make personalizations on your homes at that point in time. And we have projected move-ins for summer of 2024. So the good thing now is you can sign up to learn more. Joining the priority program does not mean you are buying a cottage. It just means you don't want to miss out on that chance to learn more and to buy when the prices are lowest and the benefits are highest. Your $1,000 is 100% refundable at any point in time for any reason. So it's literally a no risk. We accept checks, credit cards. We can take deposits now, over the phone, or if you like, we can email you a form and you can fill it out and send it in with your check. We have started taking people's names for this priority program, and it's a limited time. We are ending in October. So we are no longer accepting Cottage Priority Program members after October 31st, so almost a month from today. So my recommendation is don't wait. You want to get involved in this soon before we close the program. Just introducing some of the teammates who will be working with you. Jen Torgerson, Katie Hendrickson are our sales team. Carmen Chasen is our sales administrator, guru, check taker, and problem solver. So these are the folks at Riverwoods Manchester that are, hoping to help answer your questions. Today was really a very, very quick and very high level overview of who we are. And this is a gorgeous photo that we got compliments of our drone photography of our campus. And it just gives you a sense of how beautiful this location is and how rural it is. You would never believe this is 10 minutes from downtown Manchester. So that's my quick overview. And right now I'm going to go to the Q&A. And so please take the time now to put any questions that you have about anything that I've covered in the Q&A. And I'm going to start answering them now. Number one, will you be sending participants a copy of the PowerPoint, or can we find it on the website? We have recorded this presentation, and we'll be sending everyone who registered a copy of the recording. Okay, next question. Can you estimate how much of the entrance fee and monthly fee are tax deductible? So that's a really good question. And we know that the entrance fee is fairly standard. That's the one-time entrance fee. It is going to be 10% of the entrance fee is tax deductible the year you move in. Regarding the monthly fee, that varies year to year. So we have an outside accounting firm that calculates that, and you will get a letter every year that gives you a sense of how much you can deduct on a monthly basis. Okay. Feel free to pop in more questions because we have time. I talk really fast. Okay. Next question. If an applicant has cancer and lives independently, drives, works, and lives an active life, but goes for treatment regularly, does this disqualify them from being a resident? Absolutely not. One thing you need to know about CCRCs is some communities say if you have a certain diagnosis, that automatically disqualifies you. Riverwoods does not. If you have cancer and you're getting treatments, as long as you live independently and you can get up, transition from your bed to your chair safely, get out of the apartment safely, we will accept you. So, other than the cognitive part. So, to that anonymous person, that does not disqualify you. Another person, I have long-term care insurance. Can you briefly explain how this works with Riverwoods? I can explain how it works with Riverwoods Manchester, because that's kind of where we're focused right now. If Riverwoods Manchester is a type B contract. That means you have a lower entrance fee and monthly fee. And when you go into healthcare, your fee will increase. So for those of you who have long-term care insurance, it is perfect for a type B, because when you go into healthcare at Riverwoods Manchester, that's when you pull down on your long-term care insurance. So your long-term care insurance can bridge that increase in cost. For those of you who don't have long-term care insurance, that's where the 70% flex contract comes in, so that the bottom line is you have cash predictability, which is really hard to estimate when we get older and we're looking at medical costs. Hopefully that answered your questions. Okay, next question. Since there are only 18 cottages, how will it work if more than 18 are interested? Will it be lottery or first come, first serve? Great question. It is first come, first serve. So do not hesitate. So what we know after being at this, we've been doing CCRCs for 28 years. What we know is that people join and then they change their minds. So we are taking a certain number of Cottage Priority Program folks, 65, because not everybody is going to be interested. Some people want to know more because it's a big decision. Of that group, we will be calling people in order to see if they want a cottage, to see if they want to put 10% down. However, so we take 18 people, they put 10% down. However, we are also going to have a wait list because life happens, things change, and sometimes people back out. So we will have 18 people secured for our 18 homes, and then we will have a backup list of people who are ready to move right in if something changes, because it always does. We have done this a lot, and that's what our goal is to make sure that we have enough people. So first come, first serve, which is why timing is important, which is why it's important to get on the phone, contact Carmen, and sign up sooner rather than later. Okay, please explain the pricing strategy further. You say charter residents buy at the lowest price. What are your projections for future prices? Okay. When we build a community or build new cottages, we reward people who move early and commit early. It's similar to other initiatives. So if you join in December, the price will be lower. As soon as we build the homes, the price will go up. So at what price? I don't have the pricing information yet. I will have that in December when we have the floor plan finished, when we have the contractor finalized, and when we have all the details. But I guarantee you it will only go up because construction is expensive. So those who put 10% down before we have built will get the best deal. So hopefully that answered your question, John and Lacey. If not, put another one in the chat. Okay, if I join and send in 10% for a home and circumstances significantly change, is any of this refundable? Nebraska. Thank you, Don from Nebraska. Yes, absolutely. So if you put $1,000 down right now and join the priority program and change your mind at any point in time, you'll get $1,000 back. The $1,000 guarantees that you have the chance to buy, doesn't commit you to buying a home. However, if you're in December and you say, yes, I want a 10% deposit, and then Nebraska falls in love with somebody who lives in California and says, I'm moving to California with this wonderful woman, you can get your whole refund back, your whole 10% deposit back less $500. So your 10% deposit is refundable at any point in time for any reason. And that is why we have more than 18 people on the list, because things happen. Judy, can you give us a vague idea of the price range of the cottages? I really can't until December. I don't want to guesstimate and be wrong. But if you are interested, please join the Cottage Priority Program. And remember, the $1,000 is 100% refundable. Okay. Second question, if you need to put if you put 10% down, is that totally refundable if something happens and you need to back out? Yes, your 10% deposit is 100%. Oh, your 10% deposit is refundable less $500. So yes, this is literally no risk. Okay, since you're an insurance product, do residents maintain their own health insurance? Yes, they do. We are providing your long-term care insurance, but you continue your Medicare and your supplemental, absolutely. Margaret, my assets are in IRAs and an ESOP. Do I have to withdraw to pay the upfront fees, or can I pledge it to Riverwoods? You need to pay in cash. You can't pledge something. So it has to be liquid assets for the 10% deposit. Okay. Cindy, coming back around. I know you don't know the cost, but regards to the monthly fee, is an approximate fee currently for an apartment of similar size. Again, not certain. Let's see, Carmen, if you could post in the chat, maybe what an estimate for monthly fee is, that would be helpful. Okay. In reference to above, the tax implications, I'm concerned about tax implications. So we don't accept money that is pledged to us from some, thank you, Jen. Jen is going to answer your question, Cindy, live. So she's going to type the answer for Cindy and Butch. Margaret, in terms of tax implications, you do need to have liquid assets to put as a 10% deposit. So I understand there are tax implications. So thinking about that, you might want to talk to your tax planner about it. And if you have more detailed questions, please email us. And I'm just gonna go to the email here if I can. I will pull up the email in a minute and we can get into detail, but I would talk to your accountant about that. Okay, Nancy, if I move in, do I still carry long-term care insurance, or is it not needed anymore? That's a really good question, and we have that a lot. So I think it depends on your long-term care plan. And what we would offer to do is come in with the first page of your long-term care plan, and working with Jen and Katie, we will give you a sense of what that looks like. You want to be thoughtful about whether it makes sense going forward. And every long-term care plan is different. So it really depends on how long you've had it, what it's paying out. So each one is different. So we have to decide for you individually, because there are so many different answers. Okay. So hopefully that answered. Okay, and that answer. All right, so I'm down to my last few questions. We have 8 minutes. So if you have more questions, please put them in the chat, put them in the Q&A. With a modified contract, do you get free days in the healthcare before you begin paying? And if permanently moved, is it subsidized or strictly fee for service? So that's a really good question. At Riverwoods Manchester, you get 30 free days every year to be in the health center. If you're an independent resident, you come in, you have 30 free days every year to live in the health center. You don't start paying the new fee until you permanently move. And so when you do that, when you permanently move, you are paying at a reduced market rate. So in a CCRC, you are paying a reduced market rate, which means you are not, it is less expensive than otherwise. So, and let me just say one thing is there are many other, if you go straight to assisted living or straight to memory care, if you're living at home, you go straight there, you are likely going to go to a for-profit organization. And it makes a big difference when it comes to for-profit and not-for-profit in terms of cost and quality. So I would highly recommend the not-for-profit because we are not looking to make a profit off of people in the health center. Okay, okay. One more question. Are your independent duplexes in a homeowners association? Absolutely not, Illinois resident. We are part of a continuing care retirement community, so you are all residents within our community, and it is not a homeowners association. You do not own real estate. It is not a condo. It is a very different experience. Okay, thank you, Margaret. All right, Cindy and Butch have a great question. Do you think someone from Georgia could withstand the New Hampshire winters? I say absolutely. I was born in North Carolina. I'm kidding. I was born in North Carolina. And what we are seeing, interestingly enough, for the very first time ever, people are moving to New Hampshire for the weather. We have a lot of people from Florida who are moving here, people from California who are moving here, people from Georgia who are moving here, because as global warming is changing our world and the warmer places are getting extremely warm, people like the changeability of seasons. And when you live in a CCRC, you don't have to worry about the snow. We're shoveling the walks. We're plowing out your cars. We're plowing, scraping, reparking them. If you don't want to go to the doctors in a snowstorm, driving yourself will take you. So we're making them very, very easy. And in the middle of a snowstorm, you can go down the hall to someone's party and you don't have to worry about driving. You don't have to worry. You can go down and see a movie with everyone else. So I think it's delightful. Come on up and see us and take a look. And don't miss out on this chance. Get in your deposit so you can be a part of this. What is the average age of your residents? We are younger than we ever have been. I think because of this trend that CCRCs are so popular, we've got people moving in their 70s. Jen is going to type that answer directly to you because she's got it right in the top of her head, but it's in the 70s. Okay, contact information for the people who want to put 10% down. I was looking for this slide and I don't see it in our presentation. Can we type that answer, Carmen? It's C Chason, CCHAISSON at rwmanchester.org. And you can call us right now. And let me get you Carmen's phone number. This is like the most important part, and we don't have it in the slide, so sorry about that. I am looking it up. Okay. Carmen. I am gonna ask Carmen to put that in the chat. I have one other question. Okay, so the Carmen's number is 603-836-2302. 603-836-2302. Please call her now, and she will be able to take your deposit. And it does matter, sooner is better than later, because we won't have this opportunity forever. One final question, because we're almost at 1 o'clock. Do you know if some of your residents are alone with no family whatsoever? Absolutely. We call them solo agers, and they are a huge part of the future of this country. And this is a perfect solution for people who are alone. As I mentioned earlier, more people are aging alone than ever before in our country. And this means you have made a plan for your care no matter what. So it is very smart if you are alone and you don't have family, because we will be your family. This is truly a very small and intimate community. So trust us, this is a good solution. And there is no additional charge for using a credit card. We absorb the charge for the credit card. That's another question. So feel free to call Carmen now. If you get a busy line, that just means she is taking another credit card. So please feel free to call her directly, and you're not, there's no additional charge for a credit card. Okay, so I'm gonna just go through, and that number again is 603-836-2302. Carmen, $1,000 gives you the opportunity to learn more, buy at the lowest price, and does not commit you to anything. You just get to learn more. If you join our Cottage Priority Program, we have a whole host of events that are going to happen between now and December 1. The email is CCHISSON at capital R, capital W, capital M, Manchester.org. So I am looking forward to hearing from folks that have joined. I want to thank you very, very much for all your patience, all your great questions. It's been fantastic. And one last question. We are not keeping $500 of your $1,000. Okay. If you want to join the Cottage Priority Program, put down $1,000. If you change your mind, you will get the full $1,000 back. You will get your full $1,000 back. If you decide to put down 10% of the entrance fee, which is much more significant than $1,000, we will keep $500 of that if you change your mind. So again, your $1,000 that you put down today to join the Cottage waitlist is 100% refundable at any time for any reason. $1,000 that you put down today can be refunded for any reason at any time, and we will start the selling process in December. And so that is a whole different situation, but 100% of $1,000 is refundable. Again, thank you so much. I really appreciate everyone's attention, and I look forward to seeing many of you as Cottage Priority members in our upcoming events. Thank you again.